Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Erica, or Ricky Mickey Plans, where I usually make planning videos, but right now I'm making a scrapbooking video. I've talked about this before, but I've made myself a promise. About halfway through the summer, I made myself a promise that I would do one scrapbooking spread a day for the rest of summer, at least any day that I could. That we weren't out and about doing something, and I'm using this channel to hold myself accountable to do it. So this one that we're looking at, oh, and by the way, I'm going in no particular order. I'm just grabbing pictures out of my Shutterfly order, and whatever inspires me, that's what I'm going to scrapbook. So the one that inspired me today was one of Thanksgiving. It was the first time that I'd gotten together with family to celebrate Thanksgiving since my mother passed. And my mother was known for making yummy dinner rolls. And so it was unfortunately, my turn to make the dinner rolls, and so I wanted to scrap about that. And I wanted it to be kind of a soft memory, not harsh, if that makes any sense. I wanted to soften it. And so I'm using this little tool to basically roughen up the edges of the papers. And so they will have a more soft look. Like if you were doing something digitally, you might do a faded edge. This is sort of the paper equivalent to that. So it just softens up the edges of the paper. It actually gives it a little texture, which is nice. It's really just a little blade inside that thing, and it just kind of sands up the edges, scuffs them up. I like the look it gives. I don't know if you can see it here on screen, but it does just soften everything up. And then I'm just going to tape it together. And yeah, like I said, it's not a great memory, but it's an important memory. It's a poignant memory. And those are what we put in our scrapbooks sometimes. They're not always the most beautiful, wonderful, happy, shiny people kind of memories. Another day, another scrapbook page. And this time I am doing my daughter's 18th birthday. For my daughter's 18th birthday, we took her to see Mean Girls, the musical, which, if you haven't seen it, it's hilarious. It's a whole lot like the movie, but obviously it's a musical, so there are songs, and the songs are fun. And the staging is just awesome for it. Like the way they have like the student desks, because it takes place in a high school, but they're on wheels, and it's just so cool. It's just so cool. So yeah, we had to wear masks because it was still pandemic time, but my daughter did get to wear her shoes from the musical she was in, which was Sister Act. Um, And so she they're actually her costume, but she convinced us to let her wear them to this show. So those are her big high heel pink boots up there in the corner. And oh man, she loved those boots before the show. She loved them during the show. And I can tell you now, she loved them after the show. She took them to college with her. And yeah, she loved those boots. So happy 18th birthday to my daughter. That's hard to believe. Hard to believe. Searching through my stack. I got all these, by the way, printed at the beginning of the summer, and so that's why I can just that's why there's so many to choose from. All right, this one, this was a day. We got free tickets from a friend who unfortunately they got COVID, a couple. And so they got COVID and they couldn't use their tickets for some bourbon tours in Louisville, Kentucky. And so they gave us the tickets for free, which was good for us, but it's still awful that they couldn't go and that they had COVID and da, 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 da. But my husband has recently started just enjoying the idea of knowing more about bourbon and why bourbon tastes like bourbon. I don't know. He likes bourbon, whatever. And so we went on this tour with some friends and I got a few pictures. I love that one that says in need of a little maturity. It's a bourbon joke, but I thought it was funny because of him. I'm not even sure he saw that behind him when I said, "Hey, let me get a picture of you here, honey." I'm not even sure he saw that. Or maybe he didn't. He just played along because he was nice. This was a hard one to find paper for that, matched, but I think this background paper I found does work. It's just got a lot of colors in it. And then I have these stickers. These are just old scrapbook stickers from my stash. This one's supposed to be family stuff, but colors work. So I'm going to put these two dots on here. And yeah, I'm just going to decorate this up with some more green and some more gray, make it work. How many of you still scrapbook? Uh, I miss it greatly. Obviously, that's why I'm doing it now. Um, I miss it mostly because one day my daughter just came down and she said, "Mom, this is the last scrapbook we have." And it was 8 years ago or something like that. And she said, "I miss having new pictures of us and new stories of us written down." And so I knew it was important and that I needed to do it more often. So that's why I'm getting back into it again. Third spread for the week or fourth, I don't remember which one I'm on now. Next spread for the week, let's just say that. Another bourbon central one. Okay, I promise we're not like boozers or anything. Um, there was a bourbon expo. So my husband wanted to go to it. It's one of these things where you get like teeny weeny little tastes of them, and so you can, get as many as you want so that you can find out what you like without having to buy a whole bottle and decide if you like it or not. So I took him to that, and then as a way to say thank you to me, since we were already in Indianapolis, he took me to see the storefront for Two Chicks and a Hammer, which is the um, business owned by the two women on, oh goodness, what's it called? Oh, it's an HGTV show. I can't remember right this second. Two Chicks and a Hammer is their business. That's not their show, though. Anyway, I'll remember when it doesn't matter anymore, I guess. Um, if I remember, I'll put it up at the top of the page for you. But he took me to their storefront, which was okay. I have to say, it wasn't as awesome as I thought it'd be. I don't know. I thought it'd have more house decor stuff, and really, it just had a lot of stuff that said Two Chicks and a Hammer on it. So yeah, I was a little disappointed. I wanted more stuff that was kind of in their style, and it wasn't. It was just stuff. It was merch. It was merch, but it was still good. All right, next spread. This one I'm so proud of. My daughter was on the dance team all through high school, and she was the captain of the dance team her junior and senior year. Was she the captain her sophomore year? Co-captain her sophomore year, I think, and then captain her junior and senior year. And they qualified for state back in her sophomore year. I might get these years mixed up. One of her early years. Then COVID happened literally like the day before they were supposed to go to state. Like it was, we had school on Friday, and then it was Friday that they said, "Hey, just don't plan on coming back for a while after spring break," which was the next week. But the state competition was supposed to be the next day on Saturday, and we were told we couldn't go. They were told they couldn't go. So they qualified for state that year, and then the next year it was COVID, and so they couldn't do anything. And then this year, her senior year, they qualified and they got to go and they placed. It's the first time in school history that the dance team got to go to state. Not the first time they qualified, but the first time they got to go. And, she was captain, which is cool. So I was super duper proud of her and the girls. And it's a little team, as you can see. There were not a lot of girls on it. So for them to get out there and give it their all against these giant teams was just warming. So had to scrapbook about that. There will be a lot more dance pictures and scrapbook pages as I move backwards in time, but for now, this is the one I've got. Let's see what we're going to do next. Okay, we're going to get in touch with our nerdy side, our geeky side. What's the difference between a nerd and a geek? I'm not really sure. Anyway, I'll just go with geek because I'm not sure. But we're going to get in touch with our geeky side. Sorry about the camera. I'm not sure what happened there. And we are going to go to Gen Con. Gen Con, if you don't know, is for like, it's like mm, a, gathering place for everything that is like a role-playing game. And everything geeky, nerdy stuff too. Let me just be honest. So we started playing D&D during the pandemic because it was an easy thing to play online. And so the friends of ours who we played with all went to Gen Con together, and it was actually pretty fun. It was pretty fun. And so I had to put a scrapbook page about it. Where do we go now? Let's see. Oh, we're going back to Christmas. Okay, we did Thanksgiving and then we did the dance thing, which was like March, and now we're at Christmas. See, I'm just doing what inspires me. This one I was so happy about. My daughter likes us to get matching pajamas, but we don't like to get like super themey looking ones. So we just get, as you can see, pretty plain ones. My husband and son are in gray, and my daughter and I are in navy. They're real simple. But I was so happy to find this scrapbook paper in my stash. I didn't go to the store. It matches perfectly. It has the navy for what we're wearing, the gray for what the guys are wearing, and of course the red and green to match the tree behind us. It was just, I don't know. I was so happy when we found when I found this paper. I was like, okay, I can do this. And then I just did a whole lot of matting of everything um, to make my title and my photo stand out. And yeah, I this is such a simple thing, simple spread, but it makes me super happy. And when I place these, if you notice, I try to show the same amount of scrapbook paper above and below both the picture and the title box. So that's where my spacing, my placement comes in for that. Yeah, I love how this spread turned out. Simple but perfect, in my opinion. And that's it. So thanks a lot. Have a great week. See you later. Bye bye.